Well, we're here at the Bar Harbor Fire Department, and oh my gosh, I'm here up at the upstairs level, and it's like the inner sanctum, but it is very cool. There's pool table, lots of leather couches, and lots of pictures, lots of history. And I'm with Lori Bartlett, who is a dispatcher with the Bar Harbor Fire and Police Department. And you're getting ready to take a little run.
Yeah.
26 and a half miles and
26.2.
26, you're not going to go 0.5, 26.2.
0.2.
And 365 yards or something, I don't know.
Something crazy like
So
that.
you're running the Boston Marathon.
I am.
And why are you running in the Boston Marathon?
Well, this will be my third Boston.
Okay.
But I'm running for cancer research for Dana Farber.
Yep.
And, you know, running makes me feel so good. It makes me, it's a great feeling to run. And it takes up a lot of my time. And because of that, I want to be able to give back, but not just because of that. I feel like we should be doing whatever we can to do good in this world.
Dana Farber is a special place for me. I had nasal cancer, and they came up with a cocktail and devised the treatment so I could come back to Bangor and have all the radiation and the chemo up here at Eastern Maine Cancer Care of Eastern Maine. So they went down, I went down there, and they helped diagnose everything, and it's an amazing place.
They're amazing people. I am honored to be a part of the group. I didn't know that about you, but I'm going to put your name on it.
All right, so show us your singlet. This is what you're running in on.
Yes. This is the front.
Yeah.
And last year they changed the way the front looks, so it would be like the city is hugging the runner. Is how they did that. And then what I do is I put on the back every person's name. People donate to my Dana Farber Marathon Challenge, and they have people that they want me to run in the name of. Mm-hmm. And so there's 23 names on here right now, and all these people are going to be with me on that day. Some are not with us anymore, and some are battling, and some have won.
Yeah. It's an amazing...
There's room for you.
Oh, thank you. I mean, it's an amazing journey. I mean, that you're going to take everybody across. So how many miles are you running a week in preparation for this?
It varies, but typically right now it's 40 to 50. It's supposed to be tapering, but this winter has been...
It's been tough to run outdoors.
Well, I thought last winter was horrible, and then this winter is really, really frustrating. So I was able to run right up until the very part of January, the first part of January, and then it went to just a mess.
Oh yeah.
So then I started biking, and then friends of mine offered me up their treadmill in March. So I've been running on the treadmill, and then finally been able to get outside.
Get back outside.
And you know, right as we're 11 days away from the marathon, and just this past week I ended up with bronchitis.
Oh no.
But it happens. Yeah. It's just like you're wearing yourself out so much. It's bound to, something's going to give. But I'm great.
So
it'll be good.
When do you go down to Massachusetts, to Hopkinton, to start?
Well, I would love to go right now.
Well, you can't. When are you going down?
Well, I'm actually leaving Saturday morning.
This Saturday? A week from Saturday?
The 18th.
Okay, a week from this Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay. And...
I would go down this Saturday.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, if you have... I used to go... When I lived in Massachusetts, I'd always try and take Marathon Day off, because I would go, to Fenway Park, and for the 11 o'clock baseball game, and there's something so right about watching baseball in the morning.
Of course.
And then you go right out, and then you're right there and you see everybody running by.
Well, it's Patriots Day.
Yep.
And Boston is an amazing city. And I love being there, but I'll go down Saturday and pick up my bib number and then check in with Dana Farber.
Right.
And then on Sunday, Dana Farber has a pasta dinner. And I'll go to that, and they'll tell us how much the group has raised thus far. And so far, I've personally raised $4,900 so far.
Okay, now so if people want to donate to you, to Dana Farber through your running, how do they do that?
Well, you can go to DFMC, which stands for Dana Farber Marathon Challenge.org. And there is a link that says support a runner. And then you can type in my name, Lori Bartlett, and it would go to my Dana Farber Marathon Challenge.
Okay.
And I have a personal goal this year of I wanted to raise $12,000. The very first year I ran for Dana Farber, which was in 2013, I raised $4,000. Yeah. And last year I raised $8,000.
So you were there when the marathon bombing happened?
Yes.
Wow.
And my family, my daughter and my husband were there at the finish line.
Oh, wow. And so last year it had to have been an amazing, when it was all Boston Strong, and I mean, it really...
It was surreal both years. The ending of 2013 was like in a movie.
Yeah, I mean, so take us back to 2013. I mean, where were you when the explosion happened?
Well, I was on Beacon Street.
So you were relatively close.
Yes.
You're pretty fast.
I'm not as fast as I was.
Oh, well, you're not like the Kenyans, but I mean, but you're pretty fast to be up there.
Well, I would love to be much faster, but it is what it is. But no, I was on Beacon Street, and I was at about mile 23.
Yeah.
And I had my Dana Farber cap on, and I was miserable.
Oh, well, running 23 miles, it's brutal.
And I just wanted to be finished. I was looking forward to the end and just concentrating on the end of my cap and looking at the road and just going. And this other runner came to my right. And he was keeping my pace, and he looked at me and he said, "How are you doing?" And I said, "I'm good," but in my mind, I was like, I really don't want to chit-chat. Yeah. And so then he said, "That's good." And I said, "How are you?" And he said, "Good." And then he goes, "How's your family?" And I just thought,
it's kind of odd.
Yeah,
you know?
Kind of an odd question. But chit-chat at that end, at that point, I was just like, it was
But it's
difficult.
taken your mind off
Kind
of the
of.
pain.
And I was thinking, instead of pain, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And so I said, "My family is fine, but why are you asking me that question?" And then he said, "Well, there was explosions at the finish line." And I just remember stopping and looking at him and saying, "Are you serious?"
Yeah.
But before that point, before he came up to me and did that, there were all these unmarked police cars going past me. And all different shapes, sizes, fast. But I didn't think anything of it because I thought they're coming from the end. I'm slower, so they're just finishing what they're doing. And there was a helicopter over the city. I thought nothing of it. And when he said that, then it all started to make sense. And
because they stopped. They eventually stopped.
They did, but people were still running.
Right.
Where I was.
Yeah.
And so I went over to a police officer because the whole way, from the moment you start at Hopkinton to the end, there's police, firefighters, paramedics, there's
they've got a great support staff,
they
everybody.
do. So I went over to this police officer and I said, "I was just told this happened. Did this happen?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Are people hurt?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "How bad?" And he said, "It's really bad."
Yeah.
And I had been running with my iPhone so I could listen to music. I listen to the crowd. I have one in, one out. And call that.
And of course, you couldn't.
Nothing.
Everything was shut down.
It went right to voicemail.
Right.
So my mind went to the worst. Being a mom, I went right to the worst possible scenario.
Right.
The worst. And I tried nothing. So I kept trying to run farther, but it was like panic, worst moment of my life mode, because my child was there to see me run. Just run. And yes, it's for a good cause, but I put her in a place that brought her harm.
Right.
You know what? I mean, I was just thinking the worst at that moment. And since I couldn't get a hold of her husband, I was just stressed. And I eventually went to the point where you can no longer go forward. They had National Guard standing.
Everything was blocked off, right?
Yeah. And I eventually got a hold of them. But there were people that were coming out of their apartments. I was right at the corner of Beacon and Borland Street.
Yeah.
Never forget it. I will never forget it. And last year when I was running, yes, it was totally amazing. And the support, you already had a lot of support for Boston anyway. But last year everybody was awesome. But the amount of security
was heightened beyond belief. Yeah.
It was unreal. And so it was. She went back, and she's going to be going to college there. So
right.
She is a strong kid.
Well, and that's the scary thing about terrorism. Terrorism wins if you have to stop doing what you've normally done or what you love.
What you enjoy, yeah.
Yeah.
So right after it happened, and I was pretty certain I didn't want to run anymore, and I was done with everything. It was just such a traumatic feeling of loss that it was the worst feeling I've ever felt in my life. And so, but then on the drive back, because I drove back to Bar Harbor that night, and just listening to the radio, and then I started to get angry.
Yeah.
And pretty quick. And then I thought, and it took me to that Friday, and I remember coming back to work and just being riveted to the TV.
Oh, like everybody else was. I mean, it was
the hunt for him.
An unprecedented lockdown of the
City.
community in the area.
And but I thought, no, I am gonna go back. And then that summer I ran the Boston Run to Remember half marathon, and then I went back and ran the Boston half that fall. Yeah. And then I ran last year, but my daughter and my husband went with me.
And it's going to be interesting because obviously right now with him being found guilty, I mean, you'll be in the penalty phase, and that's probably going to get over right around that 2-year anniversary.
I was at work yesterday when the announcement came on that there was a verdict, and I felt like I was right back to the moment where they had him in Watertown. It just kind of felt like the same thing. I'm at work, the TV's on, and there was no elation. There was no feeling of anything like that. It was more of good.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was no. It's just such a. It's hard to explain the feelings that I have over.
I think people understand. I mean, it was acknowledged the fact that he was involved. I mean, the guilty verdict was a given.
It needed to be all guilty.
Yeah, and it was. And now it's the question as to whether there's life imprisonment or death. And and it's very interesting because all of a sudden now you're getting the Boston Globe's calling for life imprisonment. You're getting other people, and You know, I mean, we'll leave that, but it's just the penalty phase will be over before you run, and you know, I'm sure this year there will be as much security as there was last year. I mean, it's not going to be.
It's more than either you or I realized. I mean, I do know that we even have special teams going down to assist. So it's a lot, and that doesn't really. I'm not afraid. To go back. I'm not afraid at all to go back. It's but everything that you felt then in 2013, you're feeling now.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's the case. But you're running for a great cause. And again, if people want to donate, it's dfmc.org.
And you look for Dana Farber, or you could type in Dana Farber Marathon Challenge and support a runner. I also have it on my Facebook page.
All right, we'll link that too as well with this video.
But I am not a cancer specialist. I'm not a doctor. I can run.
Yeah, and I mean,
I want to do my part.
But everybody, you know, and that everybody knows someone. I mean, the separation level between you and cancer. I mean, if you think about it, this area, Maine and the greater Bangor area, I serve on a couple committees, and I mean, it's a cluster. It's a cancer epidemic up here. I mean, everybody knows somebody that's had cancer, and it's just I don't know why there's so much cancer in this area. I've actually had it twice, and you know, it's just. But they're making such incredible strides in fighting and curing, and hopefully at some point they'll just have it so that way it'll just be eliminated. And
what other better reason to run than to raise money to fight cancer?
Absolutely. I can't see of any good reason to run 26 miles other than this. So
I love it. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to running for everyone here, and I am putting your name on here. So
thank you. All right, so that's it. We're going to root Lori on. We'll follow you, and we'll put hopefully get all the Mainers that are running, and we'll get all the results on our website the day after. But go for it and have a great time.
I'll finish. I'm going to have fun. And I'll be thinking of you.
I'll be thinking of you, and I'll walk around the block that day.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.